Did you ever feel powerless over negative emotions? When anger flares, sadness takes over, or worry surrounds you, we often feel helpless, like our feelings are holding us back. But does life always feel that way? Does it have to be this way? Can we learn to control our feelings so they don't get in the way? To conclude, the solution is found in the ancient yet powerful concept of Stoicism, which is more than just a dry moral code. It's a way of life, to peace in the middle of life's storms. And on that journey, one of Marcus Aurelius's books, about the emperor and great the philosopher, taught us how to control our thoughts and feelings in a way that is very helpful. For him, controlling his feelings doesn't mean putting them down. We need to know their roots in order to find inner strength and spirit. Let's begin our journey toward freedom with Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic mindset. Philosophy is a path that will help you understand and handle your feelings, letting you live a life with more peace, meaning, and calm than ever before. Leave a message to join me. I'm ready for this trip, and so are you. Turn the problems you face in life into chances to learn and grow. Development number 1. Keeping your feelings in check when adverse things happen. Managing your emotions when negative events occur is crucial. Influences. Have you ever been so angry or sad that you couldn't handle anything else? It's common for negative feelings to hit you when you least expect them to. When we receive criticism, it can lead us to believe that we lack control over our thoughts. When we feel hurt by something like failure or betrayal, we often let our feelings take over and act irrationally, but Stoic philosophy gives us a different view. Are the feelings that are what the problem is, or how we should deal with it, needs to change? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You control your mind, not outside events. Know this, and you will find strength." Imagine how much you could do if you controlled your emotions. How much lighter and freer would life be? In our daily lives, we often face situations that make us feel bad, such as unfair criticism. When you fail or a close friend betrays you, these feelings come up normally, but the most important thing is how we deal with them. Will you let your feelings lead you, leading to crazy behavior, or will you choose to stay calm? To be clear, Stoicism tells us that instead of letting our feelings take over, we should, from this point of view, learn to watch and understand them. We can control our feelings and keep them from taking over our lives. Behavior. Imagine a day when a co-worker attacks your work without a legitimate reason. Stoic thought suggests that despite the emergence of anger or hurt, you can't alter the emotions of others, but you can alter your reaction. When you hear criticism, ask yourself, how does this really make me less valuable? Do I need to respond? When you control your emotions, they don't become negative. We cannot alter the external pressure that causes your pain. We can alter our perspective on these issues, but an athlete may need to confront them. During a fight, they suffered injuries, but they decided to persevere and grow. Rather than succumbing, this demonstrates how to manage your emotions effectively. Ultimately, mastering our emotions not only enhances our personal growth, but also helps us keep our lives in balance. Are you ready to master your emotions? Live a life of peace, freedom, and protection from bad things. The second impact is re-evaluating personal Stoic philosophy. It not only teaches us how to handle problems, but, Marcus, it also makes us think more deeply about our connections. Aurelius wrote, "Do what you will, even if it tears you apart. We will keep doing the same things." This is a warning that relationships aren't always a source of inspiration or help. Sometimes they can be tough. Have you ever questioned yourself? Can you improve, or are others pulling you away from your goals? Stoicism doesn't help when looking at human connections through the lens of values. Being clear and not cutting off every flawed link is what matters. Evaluate each connection with an open mind, knowing which ones support your morals and which ones are the cause of bad feelings and mental turmoil. Do the people you pick, your friends, help you grow or hinder you? The cycle of complaining and being negative is a typical one in real life. You might be maintaining a negative friendship with someone who consistently attacks and judges you without a valid reason. In this case, a Stoic would give support or understanding. I am questioning whether staying together still aligns with the values I want to live by. Building, or is it just a load I'm putting on myself? When you realize these relationships no longer contribute to your growth, you learn to let them go without feeling guilty about it. Development should always come first, followed by re-evaluation. Having friends also helps us figure out who really deserves to be remembered. Remember the last time a piece of work inspired or encouraged you? Stoics say that the only ties that really matter are those with a friend or a loved one. Although we should care for and value partnerships, we shouldn't judge them. In addition to eliminating them, you must grow and improve the best ones. Stoicism tells us that we must live honestly with friends and family. Do we have ties that help us, both to ourselves and to those around us? Did they help you become your best self, or did they hinder it? Thoughts on this question will help you live a happier life. Now, let's proceed to the topic of secret numbers. We are taking 3 steps to discover and surpass our best. Before we proceed, I would like to pose the following question to you. Have you ever felt like you became so fatigued from the constant pursuit of happiness for others that you began to lose sight of your own identity? You allowed others to cross your boundaries and felt like they were invading your soul, feelings that weren't your own. This question prompts us to contemplate our secrets. The third reason is the importance of setting limits. By putting limits, it helps us see clearly what is ours and what is not. There are plenty of moments in life when it's simple to become engrossed. Look into the feelings, actions, or thoughts of others. One simple example is when you meet someone who is consistently negative, insults you, or tries to control you. If you don't establish clear boundaries for your emotions, they can easily influence your thoughts and actions. You may feel worn out and lose control, but when you set boundaries, when should you step back to protect your mind and heart? Effects. Ask yourself how often you let other people get through your mind. Do you feel like you're carrying feelings that aren't your own? If the answer is yes, it might be time to set limits to keep everyone safe. You are the only one who can control your feelings and life. We often see great people who do well in life, not just because they set clear limits, not due to skill or hard work. Keep your balance and inner strength. Let's examine a compelling example of this. A successful leader does more than just listen to what everyone has to say, but also knows when to say no to keep their mental health safe. This allows them to focus on tasks that are more crucial. This means they won't get caught up in small issues or requests that aren't important, but they need to set limits to human ties. You should think about the bigger picture. Boundaries are also very important. For instance, in love, it's crucial to establish clear boundaries. When love and sacrifice cross those lines, it's straightforward to give too much. We tend to put off our own wants and ultimately feel lost. Not sure what to do, like when someone in a relationship may always be over time, one person may give up certain things and stick with them in order to please the other person without expressing their own desires or needs, causing an unbalance that makes that person feel mentally worn out. They might even end the relationship because they don't feel loved or appreciated. Having limits in a relationship doesn't mean you're selfish or closed off. It's not love, but a way to keep both people in the relationship safe. We can build respect for each other when we know how to love with boundaries, and avoid blind love. By sacrificing ourselves, we maintain equilibrium and ensure the happiness of both parties without experiencing any discomfort. Setting limits not only keeps us safe from undesirable people, but it also helps us stay calm. Clear-headed and proud of yourself at all times, are you ready to set limits to live a more independent and free life? This is the fourth step. Communication is the key to building relationships. Have you ever thought about what makes a friendship last? In all honesty, it's not the expensive gifts or flowery words that matter. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of conversation and mutual understanding. Being honest, open, and respectful are the building blocks of a successful partnership. Alexander the Great once said, "Remind yourself that your job is to be as a decent person. You should think about what nature expects of you, and then do it. Don't hesitate to speak the truth as you perceive it." This quote shows how to be kind, humble, and not hypocritical. Why honest and open communication is important in real life, many people struggle to make their relationships last. Have you ever noticed that they don't communicate honestly or express their true feelings? It's challenging to express your thoughts due to the fear of hurting someone or creating a negative situation. In response, this hesitancy often leads to connections that aren't very deep. Neither individual truly understands the other, leading to a swift termination of the relationship. When disagreements arise, Stoicism asserts that sincerity is crucial. Listening is as important as telling the truth when communicating. Try to understand the other person instead of keeping your own ideas or feelings inside. Feelings. Honesty about thoughts and feelings fosters mutual trust and understanding. For example, if both parties lack respect in a business partnership, make it clear what their relationship goals and standards are. Quickly fall apart when problems appear, but if both can sit down, and if they are honest about their problems and worries and work together to find solutions, the relationship will grow. Stronger too, in personal relationships like friendships and love ties. When people don't speak honestly, they confuse each other. Do you hold on to things because you've lost trust and connection? You haven't spoken out loud because you're afraid of how other people will react. Remember, the truth, even if hard to hear, makes a difference. Instead of avoiding a real long-lasting connection, try to have one. We can only build if we tell the truth and communicate with each other honestly. Connections where both people feel like they are understood. And we'd like to take a moment to thank you and congratulate you on you've made it halfway through today's video, which shows that you are fully committed to this journey. Let's now turn your attention to these are the final 5 guidelines for mastering the ability to pause your thoughts while traveling. Self-improvement, number 5. Facing problems head-on and taking action moves things forward. What gets in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Have you ever felt like life keeps giving you problems that you can't solve? Stoics say that problems are normal and that we shouldn't try to dodge them. Instead, it's an opportunity to develop and improve, as the aforementioned quote suggests. It helps us remember that problems aren't walls, but rather steps that lead to success. Nick Vui is one of the most influential. There are unmistakable instances of the resilience of the human spirit and its capacity to overcome challenging circumstances. Nick faced his physical differences from the start, having been born without arms or legs. A young age, and he found it hard in many ways because he couldn't do daily tasks on their own while dealing with ridicule and discrimination. People around him could easily solve these seemingly impossible problems, have driven someone to despair, but he didn't give up when things got hard. Nick took a different route. He faced his problems with bravery and never gave up. Nick has worked hard and built an excellent career as an author and speaker. He goes around the world telling people his story as a motivating speaker and author. His message is that they should never give up, no matter how challenging things get. This is a powerful message. Never forget that you can overcome challenging circumstances. You have the strength to get through them. Nick's story is this powerful testament to Stoic thought, demonstrates that hardship is not something to be taken lightly, to be afraid of, but a chance to show persistence. And Marcus Aurelius also taught that everything that happens to you has a purpose. Since the beginning of time, the twining lines of fate have linked both of us. Together, they make up your life and the things that happen to you. It helps us understand that being prepared for trouble not only makes it easier to deal with, but it also lets us to find the secret message in every problem. When we accept them as we find inner peace, instead of letting worry and fear take over parts of our lives. If you're having trouble, think about what helped you get through it. Was it patience, bravery, or faith? You see, we only genuinely develop these traits when we encounter challenges. Find our true inner strength. In the end, hardship is not. It's not just a task, it's a chance to learn, grow, and become better people, version of ourselves. Are you prepared to embrace challenges and turn them into opportunities? Number 6. Show love with wisdom and strength. Life is about freely loving someone, but have you considered how? Our love is unrestricted and intelligent as it aligns with the principles of Stoic thought, an act or thing that can't be stopped because of strong feelings, but rather, this type of love is governed by logic, and this lesson tells us to love without holding on, and to love without holding on. Given the fleeting nature of life, it is crucial to love properly. To keep our emotions in check, we don't reject the power of love, but we also do not allow it to overwhelm us or cause us to become overly reliant on it. Imagine being in a relationship if we lose ourselves in love so much that we're willing to give it up. Should we relinquish everything without preserving anything for ourselves? Is that really love, or is it attachment? A form of control-based love between two people does not mean ending love. It's not about how to love, but rather how to love with self-control and respect for both lovers. Parties are like holding a feather too tightly and breaking it. If you hold on to it too loosely, it will fly away. The question is, have you been? If you love someone, are you free or cautious? The fear of losing what you have and your need for other people hold you back. But because they don't want to lose another person, they become demanding, and jealous behavior can damage a relationship over time. This is a sign of foolish love when we let fear and negative thoughts take over. To love fully is to let your feelings take over, on the other hand. Enjoy every moment with the person we love without expecting anything in return. We hope for eternity. We love with thanks, knowing that life is short and everything changes. A mother loves her child, but by closely observing every action and allowing the child to mature independently, explore the world in their own unique way. In the end, liking properly means realizing that love isn't about having things, but about giving and respecting. In love, the only thing we can change is how we love. Let's love with freedom, thanks, and we recently discussed the importance of possessing knowledge to avoid the trap of emotional attachment, of liking easily and wisely traits that help you handle your feelings. Now we'd like to show you another very useful tool, the practice. Stoic thought holds that being grateful is one of the most important things you can do. It aids individuals in discovering inner peace and happiness. Let's keep looking into the impact of gratitude is particularly strong in the subsequent section. 7th video. Practicing thanks. Have you ever thought about what we should be thankful for and how we can express our gratitude every day? Stoics hold that gratitude is a state of mind that is trainable, not just a fleeting emotion. Always look for the good, even when things are hard. This theory tells us not to focus on what we don't have, but on what we do have. We should be thankful for what we already have in our lives, like our health, our families, our jobs, and even when we are thankful for the challenging times, we learn important lessons. We not only see the value of the present moment in the little things around us, but learn to be calm when the unexpected happens. In modern life, we are often in a whirlwind of stress and unquenchable desire. We chase success and money, recognition and a lot of other things, but have you ever stopped to think about? Consider what you've already done and ask yourself, am I truly grateful for these things? Being grateful is a strong tool that can help you in real life. We maintain peace and balance amidst the ups and downs of life. For example, think about a cancer patient who, when someone who has a serious illness, decides to be thankful for every day. They are still alive for every moment spent with family and friends. Their stories are often told. They infuriate us because they do not live in fear or anger toward fate. From the morning, they learn to appreciate the small things in life. When they talk to family members, the sun not only brings them peace, but also gives them the strength to fight the illness. Being thankful helps us focus on the positive aspects and prevent us from succumbing to negativity. Stoics thought that being thankful does not mean constantly comparing and wanting more. It's not just going along with everything. It's a way for us to be grateful for what we already have and find peace in difficult times. When you're thankful, life feels peaceful, richer. It's not because you have more, but because you value what you have more. Furthermore, keep in mind that gratitude deepens your experience of life. With that in mind, we'd love to bring peace and quiet to a world that is always changing. Tell us 3 things you're thankful for today. What are you thankful for today? Let us know in the comments below. Awareness. Meditation and awareness play a crucial role in Stoic thought, techniques that help us stay calm and in charge of our minds. During the challenging times of life, Marcus Aurelius remained Stoic. The emperor and sage emphasized the significance of practicing mindfulness. Quote, "Don't worry about the future. You'll deal with it if you have to. You can use the same tools of reason that you used to defend yourself against Stoic thought today." Meditation is not synonymous with this practice. This is a type of everyday. The Stoics think about themselves and live in the present. It provides an opportunity to reflect on one's emotions, actions, and thoughts. Find ways to improve the situation and maintain your determination at all costs. We might wonder, am I truly living in this moment, or is my mind drifting elsewhere? This question leads people to worry too much about the past or the future, which isn't required. Meditation can help us live more consciously and with a clear mind. Knowing what our feelings and thoughts are lets us act with more reason. In modern times, work and life often engulf us. Worries about the future. We always think about what has worked and what hasn't, as well as things that haven't happened yet to happen, without realizing they're missing the present. But meditation and awareness can help encourage us to remember that the present moment is all we truly have. For example, Steve Jobs and other great leaders meditated every day to help him stay creative and make decisions at work, where there is a lot of stress environment. Meditation not only helps us handle our feelings, it also makes us more creative. Our brain space helps us see problems more clearly and come up with more, especially when it comes to Christianity. There are also elements of meditation and awareness. Jesus Christ often pulled away. Step away from the crowds to pray and think, hoping to meet with God. He emphasized the significance of living in harmony with his soul. The present, putting our trust in God's direction and not letting worry cloud our vision. In Matthew 6:34, Jesus says, "Do not worry." We should not worry about tomorrow, as tomorrow will worry about itself. This fits with the Stoic view of life. We learn to accept the things we cannot change and focus on the present moment. Do you live in the present or the past? Next, are you ready to find peace through awareness and meditation? Share your ideas in the Leave a Comment below and share your unique thoughts. Join the discussion. Remember stories of people who overcame problems in every task. There are always opportunities for those who know how to seize them. Number 9. Self-reflection and being self-aware. Have you ever thought about why some people seem to be able to do well while others have a challenging time? A lot of the time the answer isn't just skill or hard work. It's something deeper, the ability to think about and understand yourself. In the past, these two traits have made a huge difference in the lives of many successful people, from inventors and thinkers to world-changing leaders. Let's talk about how self-awareness and thought can help you move forward in life, and what we can learn from people who are successful at these things. Thinking about yourself is like looking at your life through a mirror, the good, the bad, and everything in between. After reviewing what happened, we examine how we reacted, how our feelings affected us, and how we can spot patterns. One of the most famous TV hosts in the world, Oprah Winfrey, says that writing in a notebook and thinking about her day is a big part of her success. She thinks that taking the time to understand your actions, thoughts, and goals is essential because what you focus on expands. Doing this every day helped her stay focused on her dreams and learn from every failure, which led her to enormous success. Just think about Thomas Edison. He invented the electric light bulb. He had many failures along the way. In fact, he failed thousands of times before he found the right recipe. But Edison didn't give up. He saw each loss as a chance to learn something new. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This method of thinking demonstrates how analyzing what went wrong and devising solutions can fortify you and aid in your success. Being aware of yourself is the basis for all change. To change, get better, or grow, you must first know your skills, flaws, what drives you, and what sets you off. Bill Gates, one of the founders of Microsoft, talks a lot about how important it is to know yourself. He has been honest about his flaws and surrounded himself with people whose strengths balance out those of him. Gates was able to make decisions that turned Microsoft into a tech giant because he knew that he had strengths and weaknesses. Similarly, Elon Musk, the creative CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, is very self-aware of himself. Musk is very ambitious and ready to take chances, but he is also honest about the problems he faces, admitting when he's wrong and being clear about what he needs to work on. Being self-aware helps Musk see his limits in a realistic way, which helps him do well in the tough world of creation. He even said that knowing himself better made him a better leader and speaker because he could use what he had learned from his mistakes to better motivate his team. Being self-aware also means being open to being vulnerable, which means admitting that you don't know everything. This openness is something that the famous researcher and speaker Brené Brown has talked a lot about. Millions of people have changed how they feel about themselves because of Brown's study into shame and weakness. She shows us that real courage means being open enough to say we're wrong, ask for help, and accept that we aren't perfect. By thinking about and being aware of ourselves, we learn that being open and vulnerable is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful tool that helps us connect with others in a more genuine way. Steve Jobs also showed how vulnerable he was in a way that changed the course of his life and work. After Apple fired Jobs in 1985, he took the time to reflect on his mistakes. He saw that his stubbornness and lack of humanity had made the people around him dislike him. It was during this time of weakness that Jobs learned more about himself, changed the way he led, and created a vision that made him better and more successful when he returned to Apple. When handled appropriately, mistakes can serve as either obstacles or opportunities. Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, is known for believing in failing forward. He once said, "I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that, but I knew the one thing I might regret is not trying." Bezos's focus on learning from mistakes has been a big part of Amazon's growth. Bezos built a company that not only survived, but also changed the way people buy things online and use technology by looking at each failure and using what he learned to guide future decisions. People often say that Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time. Jordan is famous for saying, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, people trusted me to make the game-winning shot, but I failed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Jordan was able to keep getting better even after setbacks because he was willing to think about his mistakes and learn how important it is to keep going. When you fail, you often learn more from your mistakes than from your successes. Self-awareness and self-reflection are crucial to emotional intelligence, which involves recognizing and managing your own and others' emotions. What makes a successful boss different from an average one is emotional intelligence. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. His caring way of leading changed the culture of the company. Nadella's self-awareness and focus on empathy helped change Microsoft from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture, which made it easier for people to work together and be creative. Jacinda Ardern, who used to be Prime Minister of New Zealand, is another outstanding example. She was very self-aware because of how emotionally intelligent and caring she was during times of crisis, like the killings at the Christchurch Mosque. An ability for Ardern to think about her own feelings, as well as those of her country, helped her connect deeply with the people she led. Her way of leading shows how important it is to know yourself and use that knowledge to build trust and unity. Being mindful is a habit that helps us understand ourselves and keep a fair view of things. One of the most successful people in the world, wealthy businessman Ray Dalio, says that meditation is the key to his success. Mindfulness helps him clear his mind and think about what he's thinking, which helps him make better choices. Everyday thoughtfulness and reflection have helped Dalio stay cool under pressure and keep a high level of self-awareness in the volatile world of finance. After passing out from tiredness, Arianna Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post, learned how important it is to be self-aware and thoughtful. After this event, she started putting her health first by meditating and thinking about herself. Now, Huffington talks about how important it is to know yourself and put your mental and physical health first. Mindfulness helps us develop a stronger sense of who we are, which lets us be more present and make decisions that are in line with our ideals. Feedback sometimes helps us see ourselves more clearly when we don't have an external image nearby. Giving and receiving constructive feedback from others helps us learn more about ourselves and see where we can improve. Take Mark Zuckerberg, who runs Meta as CEO. He often says that his success comes from being open to hearing what others have to say, even if they are critical. His willingness to hear other people's points of view and his ability to think about them without getting angry have fueled Zuckerberg's growth as a leader. In the same way, Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group, constantly seeks feedback from both customers and workers. Branson is committed to self-reflection and acting on helpful feedback, which helps him keep making his businesses and himself better. As Branson once said, "Listen more than you talk." Nobody learned anything by hearing themselves speak. For personal growth and success, it's important to be able to think about feedback, both positive and bad. Being self-aware requires interest in yourself, the world, and how others see you. Einstein, who was one of the smartest people ever, once said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." It was this curiosity that drove Einstein to constantly question and think, which led to his groundbreaking physics findings. His willingness to question his beliefs and ideas shows how important self-reflection is for learning and growth. Being curious is also crucial for success in the business world. Sarah Blakely, who started Spanx, says that her success comes from being always curious and ready to learn from new things. At the start of her journey, Blakely wondered why there weren't better options for women's underwear. Because she was curious, she came up with new ideas, and because she worked hard at self-reflection, she improved her product until it became well known. Blakely is a brilliant example of how a curious mind and the habit of thinking about yourself can lead to revolutionary success. Making daily self-reflection a habit is important for growing all the time. People who have been successful for a long time, like Warren Buffett and Benjamin Franklin, know how important it is to regularly think about themselves. For example, Buffett reads and thinks a lot during the day. I insist on dedicating a significant amount of time, almost every day, to simply sit and think. This practice is highly unusual in American business. I read and think. Therefore, I engage in more reading and contemplation and tend to make fewer snap decisions. This habit has helped Buffett make smart choices that have led to his huge success. One of the founding fathers of the United States, Benjamin Franklin, was habituated to thinking about himself every night. "What good have I done today?" was a simple but strong question that helped him stay focused on his goals and think about how he could do better. Franklin learned a lot about himself and was able to make small changes that had big effects by taking time to think about them every day. Being self-aware without taking action is not complete. Using what we've learned about ourselves in our lives is what truly fosters our growth. Take J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter books. Prior to her fame, Rowling faced numerous challenges such as financial scarcity and repeated rejections from companies. She didn't give in to self-doubt. Instead, she kept going because she knew her skills and flaws. Rowling's strength demonstrates the importance of knowing yourself and acting on it, even when things go wrong. Barack Obama is another example. He always thought about himself while he was president. Obama wrote in a notebook and often thought about the choices he made and how they affected people. He knew how important it was to make sure that his actions matched his values, and being able to act on those thoughts helped him become a leader known for being calm under pressure and making smart choices. Self-awareness and self-reflection are not ends. They are paths that never end. We get to know ourselves better, make smarter choices, and grow through both success and loss when we use these skills. The most successful people have made self-reflection and self-awareness an important part of their lives. For example, Oprah Winfrey writes in a book every day, Bill Gates knows his limits, and Steve Jobs thinks about the mistakes he has made in the past. Learning about ourselves is as important as succeeding. These outstanding people have shown us that by being self-aware and reflecting on ourselves, we can reach our full potential and become the best versions of ourselves. So, the next time something undesirable happens or a problem comes up, take a moment to look inside yourself. Think about what you did, what you learned, and how you can use that information to move forward with purpose and focus. Being self-aware and reflecting on yourself are important. Marcus Aurelius thought that the main ideas of Stoicism could help us find peace and live a useful life. Regularly reflecting on yourself not only enhances your self-awareness, but also self-reflection does not foster kindness and a desire to be good. Stoicism wasn't the only way to think about things. Even Jesus Christ told us to often ask ourselves questions. When we pray for truth and clarity in modern life, we quickly get it. Caught up in the busy and fast-paced rhythm, not having time to stop and think. Think about what we've done. Have you ever taken a moment to ask yourself, what have I done? Today, I want to improve myself so I can become a better person. Self-questioning helps us see. It helps us figure out what we can do better and shows us our skills and flaws. Looking back also helps us connect with our souls and the divine. A good boss often spends time with God at the end of each day. Thoughts. Did I make the right choices today? How did I treat my co-workers, staff? What can I do to make it better tomorrow? Thinking about themselves helps them be kinder and smarter in the future. Decisions. People who are having a hard time in life are another example of this. When people think about what went wrong and try to understand it better, they may learn that their actions and thoughts were to blame. As things currently stand, this knowledge enables them to alter their lifestyle. Instead of blaming circumstances or other people, concentrate on improving yourself. Self-awareness and self-reflection not only make us better, but they also help us grow. And more sure of themselves, but they also bring peace and a closer relationship with God. Ready to spend time each day contemplating life and making it more meaningful. Keeping your emotions in check isn't always straightforward in life, but the Stoics and Marcus Aurelius can help. Aurelius's profound lessons have equipped us with the necessary tools to overcome obstacles. You won't let angry storms sweep you away if you learn to control your feelings. Instead of fear or worry, you find peace in everything. Situation, even when things are at their worst. Now ask yourself, if you're ready to start the journey of mastering your feelings, use Marcus Aurelius's skills. As you maintain a stoic attitude, you'll notice that everything around you gradually becomes lighter. You are the captain of, if this video helps, you'll choose your path. Remember to click like to support the channel and leave a review with your feedback. Feel free to share the video with your family and friends. Let's share the beneficial ideas in Stoic philosophy, and don't forget to sign up. Sign up for the channel to make sure you don't miss any videos about living a quiet life, growing as a person. Remember, the journey to mastering your feelings is a continuous process that requires dedication and practice. By incorporating Stoic philosophy into your daily life, you can cultivate inner peace and resilience in the face of challenges.